Let's dive into a little bit more about maybe the structure for your book, Scaling for Success. Is there like 5 pillars, 7 pillars? Is there steps? You also run an accelerator program for startups globally, where you essentially almost coach CEOs. Is that correct?
Yeah,
To
it's
not.
actually thanks for the opportunity to pitch it. People Leader Accelerator is the program that I run with a couple of partners, including a PhD in organizational behavior and entrepreneurship. And that's a program that supports HR leaders at startups. So we haven't put any CEOs through it, but we've had some requests. And we've had some requests from venture capital partners as well, but we're pretty tightly focused on those HR leaders. So those organizations already have enough scale to hire somebody that's ahead of HR.
Right.
Yeah, so the key pillars, I think there are probably three. Probably, and we've already talked about one. One is context over content. Um, and so, yeah, again, there's no such thing as a best practice. Be really cautious about lifting and shifting. Don't just try to keep up with the Joneses. I have all sorts of snappy sayings around this one.
Okay.
Um, yeah, a second pillar would be have a plan. Full stop. Have a plan, and then expect that plan to evolve. Um, a little bit more on this. As I work with startup leaders, I find that there's this real reluctance to committing to a plan, to a goal, to what are the three things that are most important to us right now. There's this fear that if we say this or we write it down and we don't make it, then our employees will quit and our investors will stop and will stop bringing capital to us. And I'm the founder CEO and I'll be taken out. And there's a lot of fear,
Mm.
which is at odds with leaders that want to know what all their people are working on all the time, that want to have a wildly successful organization with super highly productive people. But how are they supposed to know what they should be working on if you don't have clarity at the top?
Mm.
So start with a plan. Don't let ambiguity and change get in the way or be your excuse not to have a plan.
Mm.
Start there. We can talk more about that. And then I think the last pillar, and these are in no particular order, is master only the basics. It's really easy to get distracted by bright, shiny objects and
Yeah.
novel practices in startup land, or you read an HBR article, or you attend a investor meeting with other CEOs, or somebody's doing something cool,
Mm.
and you want to do it too. Or somebody on your team, says, "What can't we do what so and so did at Atlassian or at my last company or what have you?" And I really encourage, particularly startups that are in high growth, high change, high stress environments with limited resources, you got to make some choices. You
Mm.
got to ruthlessly prioritize.
Mm.
And so you might have a novel product or a novel service, but you don't need to create your own wheel with how to manage and run your organization. Get those basics right, be really good at the fundamentals, and then you can be selective about a couple of interesting things, but don't try to do everything new and novel.